Hello everybody and welcome to another mystery box function challenge. In the purple mystery box we've got some math and your challenge is to figure out what it is. You can use the link in the description to try this out on your own, and when you've got an idea, come on back and see if we get the same thing. Alright, I'm going to start with a 0. 0 gives me, well, that's basically 1, right? It's 0.9 repeating, so I think we've basically got 1 at 0. It's odd that we would get, so that it's been calculated clearly. Um, let's do a few more points. So that looks like a non-repeating decimal. Let's do a 3. Also non-repeating decimal. How about a 4? Wow, and 4 is way off the graph, up at 13, but also non-repeating decimal. So I think we've got a trig function going on here, and because we've got some points that seem to be off the graph and some points that are on the graph, I'm wondering if this might be tangent or something like that. I mean, I suppose it could be one of the inverse trig functions. We haven't seen those yet. Or it could be tangent. 1 is not what you expect from tangent at 0. Let's do a few more points in between. I guess I skipped 1, didn't I? Let's put in a 1. And that's way down. How about a negative 1? All right, let's start trying some trig values and see what we get. Let's put in a 3.14. And that's almost 1. Basically 1. Interesting. And that's what we got at 0. And actually now I'm starting to see the shape of the tangent. So I'm pretty sure this is tangent. So the tangent's got these arms that are down on the left, up on the right. It seems like maybe this is offset though, because we would expect tangent to go through 0. Let's think about tangent for a minute. So tangent is the sine over the cosine. So there are some places where it's undefined, and there's some places where it's going to be 0. Where it's going to be 0 is where the sine is 0. Here's our point 1, 0. Here's our point negative 1, 0. Sine is our second coordinate, our y coordinate. So those are the places where we'd expect the tangent to be 0, at 0 and at pi. And it looks like it's happening here, well, somewhere before it gets to pi. So somewhere in here, it crosses 0. So I'm not sure exactly where that is, 2 point something, around 2.5. Let's put in 2.5 and see how close we are to that. Yeah, pretty close. A little less than that, maybe 2.4. So that's pretty close to 0 there. And then over on the other side, so I have a hunch here. So actually, let's try pi over 2. So I'm going to put in 1.6 for an approximation for pi over 2. Okay, so that's very close to 1. No, sorry, very close to negative 1 at pi over 2. All right, and then let's do pi over 4. So let's put in 0.8. And that is way down there. So pi over 4 is probably where it's undefined there. And then let's do negative pi over 4. So negative 0.8. Aha, and that's pretty much at 0. So here's what I think. I think this is the tangent function. It's just been shifted to the left. We've moved this way pi over 4. Because at 0, tangent should be 0. At 0, you get 0 over 1, the sine over the cosine. At pi over 2, you're going to be undefined. And we're undefined at pi over 4 here, and at 0 at negative pi over 4. So I think it's just moved to the left pi over 4. The way you would do that in sketching out the function, you would just do the tangent of x plus pi over 4. We move to move in this negative direction, you actually add the pi over 4. And I think that's going to have it. So think about this. If you put negative pi over 4 in for x, it'd be negative pi over 4 plus pi over 4. That's going to give you 0, and the tangent of 0 is going to be 0. And that's why we end up with 0 there. If you put in pi over 4 here, you would get the tangent of pi over 2, because pi over 4 plus pi over 4 is pi over 2, and that's going to be undefined because you're going to get 0 over negative 1, and that's why it goes up to infinity and down to negative infinity in this pi over 2, or sorry, in this pi over 4 region. So I think we've got it. In fact, I'm confident enough that I'm just going to go ahead and take a look. Yeah, that is the tangent of x plus pi over 4, and we can graph that as well. And you see those typical arms of the tangent function with those undefined points in separating them. It's just all been shifted over by pi over 4. Well, how did that go for you? Were you thinking tangent? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.